again. EB's back. Back again. Tell your friends, tell your friends. Hey, everybody, it's Matt Haywood from Entertainment Buddha back with another episode of the Buddha Cast. You know, the cast that all geeks love to listen to, even though they don't know it exists. So anyways, I am here with some friends this week. We do not have the Wu-Tang Clan, so we'll skip his storied introduction. But first off, the theme for tonight's, or today, or whenever's podcast is E3 predictions and the joys of killing Nazis. So as you can probably guess from the title of the podcast, we will be talking about E3, which kicks off in less than 2 weeks, which is insane to think about because this will be my third one that I get to attend, and it just feels like they come faster and faster. So we're going to talk a little bit of E3, what we want to see, what we think we may see. And then from there, we're going to transition into what the team has been playing for the past 2 weeks, most notably Wolfenstein, The New Order, and Watch Dogs. So without further ado, let me introduce my co-hosts. First and foremost, we have the sound producer extraordinaire, super duper hip hopper, Rastaman, Ten Benson's from the UK. Ten Benson's, how you doing, buddy?
Easy now, I'm all good.
Excellent. And like I said, we don't have the Wu-Tang Clan with us, but we do have our lone lady voice. So we have Anna down there in sunny Florida. How you doing, Anna?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Happy to be
Staying
here.
cool. Well, I guess it's always hot down there, so.
Yeah, it's hot. It's about to rain.
Yeah, it just hit the 80s up in the northern part of the country, and it's starting to get muggy and hot, so.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, let's get the party started, folks. So E3. This year, we pretty much know that we're not going to see any sort of major new hardware announcements. Is that something we can agree on, at least when it comes to consoles?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not getting anything out of Microsoft or Sony. The only one that could potentially announce something would be Nintendo, and I believe they've come out and said, yeah, we're not, no hardware at this E3. But you never know. Nintendo likes to kind of change things up. They're actually, this is the second year in a row where they're not hosting a live press conference like all the other big boys. So I think hardware we can pretty much write off. I think obviously you're going to see a little bit more with the virtual reality headsets. So you got Project Morpheus from Sony, obviously.
Yeah, I definitely think that they'll Sony will make a show of Morpheus.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but we did a post earlier in the week for a new competitor in the virtual reality headset arena, and it's called the Seymour Viewer.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah,
it's supposed to sport 2D HD, 3D, augmented reality, head tracking, and then obviously the virtual reality application. So, I mean, the fact that it just kind of came out of the woods, I'm skeptical on that one. So I'm going to try.
It possibly is trying to do too much.
Yeah, I think they're threw one too many eggs in the VR basket. But if time permits, I'm definitely going to swing by the booth and see if I can at least talk to some of the creators and try it out. So anyways, hardware-wise, I think we'll be limited to the peripherals at best. So at least my personal predictions and or wants, first and foremost, I'm not going to take it to the bank, but I would imagine Microsoft will either lead off their conference with some sort of Gears of War footage, next gen Gears of War, or Xbox One Gears of War. That's just my thoughts. I think they're going to rely on their big franchises. So like I said, it's going to be Gears of War, or we might finally get to see some actual Halo 5 gameplay. So what do you two think about, at least from Microsoft, what do you think they may drop on the crowd at E3?
I'm definitely with you on Gears and Halo. For sure, Halo. They have to give us something.
Yeah, I mean, they teased it last year, so they got a Halo 5 Guardians, I believe what it's called.
I'm itching for more. Gimme.
I'm all, I mean, I thought them rebooting, basically, not rebooting Halo, but just kind of starting a new trilogy of story for Master Chief and Halo 4. I thought it was brilliant. I love the Forerunner story, all that fun stuff. So I'm excited for Halo 5 and 6.
See, I've been a fan of Halo since the first one. I absolutely loved Halo. But by the time I got to, I think it was ODST, I was ready to forget about it. It just, I don't know. I think there's something about the fact that Master Chief is just a faceless drone. At the end of the day.
You need to play Halo 4 then, don't you?
I've played Halo 4.
Did you play it on Legendary and beat it?
I really enjoyed Halo 4.
Because if you beat it on Legendary solo, you get to see the Master Chief's face at the very end.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, I never did it on Legendary.
I know.
I went my way through quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because Legendary used to be that thing that was like the pinnacle of playing.
Hell yeah, dude! If you beat a Halo game,
easier.
Legendary solo a Halo game, that is still a challenge.
Yeah. Halo 2 was the worst, I think.
Yeah.
Halo 2 Legendary kicked my ass.
Yeah, I'm always just like the Call of Duty games. Always have to play the Halos on the hardest setting at least once. That's just some sort of masochistic behavior I have.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, really, Halo 4, I know what you're saying, Benson's where, yeah, the Chief up until that episode, or that game really was just, he was more or less a super soldier robot. I mean, he could have been a robot. We would have known no difference. But in Halo 4, you finally get to see a little bit of his humanity, and they kind of play on that with his relationship with Cortana and the stuff going on with her. And you see that, okay, he does have cares in this world outside of just doing what he is commanded to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because it did seem quite robotic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he was, I guess for me with Halo, and I don't know about you, Anna, but I just got into the expanded universe. I mean, I've enjoyed all the books. It's kind of like a Star Wars story where I'm always interested in reading outside of the game.
I haven't read any of the books, but we have a couple of them. I just never find the time to read them. But it would be nice to get into that side of Halo. I did watch Forward Onto Dawn, and I enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah, TV series.
That was pretty cool.
It was I think it was, it wasn't Netflix, but it was like YouTube something. Yeah, it was just one of those deals.
Yeah.
I think I saw a couple of episodes of that. It was actually really good.
No, it's good. I mean, there's still supposedly a Halo movie out there somewhere. I mean,
do you remember the trailer for the Halo movie all those years ago?
Oh.
And it looked absolutely exceptional.
What?
That's one of the things that they talked about at E3 last year was the show that they were doing that was being produced by Steven Spielberg, which anything like Spielberg touches, we know it's for the most part pretty awesome.
Maybe we'll see. That's a good point, Anna. Maybe we'll see a little bit more about the Halo live action TV series if they're still going forward with that. Who knows with Microsoft anymore? They kind of changed their business model every couple months. So. Who knows? But yeah, that'd be cool because at one point in time, Peter Jackson and Neil Blomkamp were attached to the Halo movie, and if that ever got made, that thing would have been fucking fantastic because. Yeah. I mean, Neil has made District 9 and then Elysium. I love that guy's vision of science fiction because he tries to keep it real, doesn't really use a lot of CG. It's more, kind of in your face, gritty, real life tech. So one can dream, I guess. Unfortunately, Hollywood just does not know what to do with video game movies for the most part. I mean, they've all been turds.
Well, they ruined Doom.
Yeah,
so.
Doom was awful. The Resident Evil movies, they're almost good because they're bad.
The first one was really good.
I like the first one.
I watched
the
Silent
first one
Hill.
Is the best. Silent Hill. Yeah.
See, like, I watched it having advanced knowledge of playing the game. And although it wasn't a great film, there were so many like little touches that brought me back to when I was about 18 and played Silent Hill for the first time. And I was absolutely shit in my pants and it conjures
that
those
makes sense.
up.
I mean, that's video game movies. I think they either have to do that where they cater to the fan base of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or they just
fan
have
service.
or just do a completely different take on it, but keep it in the universe. They always screw these things up.
Yeah, I mean, the point I was making was that it's a bad film, but because it had those gaming references in there.
You liked
it. For me, I enjoyed watching the film just because it made me chuckle at certain elements. And there's a particular sign. They walk into the school and it had this a phrase written over one of the stairways, And it made me laugh because I'd never even thought of it like since playing it, but just seeing it in the film jotted my memory enough to make like I said, make me chuckle. I was like, oh, I remember seeing that. And I was like, I wonder if it's going to have this, or I wonder if it's going to have that. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, it was cool seeing it, but still a pretty terrible film.
I think we all can agree that one of the best video game movies of all time is Mortal Kombat, right?
Well, I mean, the first one.
Is that with the really shit? It sounds like Two Unlimited.
You know the song. I mean, you at least got to know the theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. And it took the samples from like the arcade game.
Yeah. Finish it.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Oh man!
But the second one was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Hey, let's get back to E3. We kind of went off on a tangent on video game movies. Always fun, but so we're kind of expecting hopefully Gears of War, something from Halo.
Yeah,
I think multi-platform, something I want to see. I'm not going to say this is a prediction, but I want to see some Battlefront 3 because I mean that's the Star Wars series that was so amazing back on the original Xbox that just kind of got jacked out of a proper trilogy. You know, that was when LucasArts was all whacked out, and I think Free Radical was working on one point in time, and then they got fired. And one thing led to another, and Battlefront 3 basically disappeared until last year at E3 at the EA presser. They showed off a CGI tease of it. So I'm all for that. I want to see it. I think it would be a fantastic game. It'd be a way to kind of shake up the...
If anyone can do it justice, it will be DICE.
Right, but let's just hope they've learned their lessons from Battlefield 4 and things
I don't think anyone's really going to care.
Yeah, it is Star Wars and it's Battlefront 3.
If you want to succeed in anything, right, the first thing you do is get an image of any female with her tits out. Secondly, stick a Star Wars logo on it, and you're a fucking millionaire. There you go.
Sold. Cha-ching.
That's it. Yeah.
Boobs in the Force, sell.
In all seriousness, definitely, I think people will be so hyped that they won't care. Because I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I fucking love Battlefront. I have very fond memories of Battlefront 1 and 2. Very fond memories. And it's one of the reasons why I like Battlefield so much is because it's the same style of gameplay, you know, that objective-based
and they were out, I mean,
environments, and
they were out before there was proper online gaming, really, for consoles.
Yeah, for consoles.
I remember just sitting there playing by myself against the AI for hours and hours and hours. I mean, I loved it.
You could play.
I love the second one where you could get in ships and take over battleships. I mean, it was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great game. And on a similar tangent, I think you're also going to see. What was that? Is it Hardline? The Battlefield?
Yeah, I mean, that's something. I don't know if you guys want to share anything, but I've kind of not purposely ignoring it. I mean, sometimes things get very hectic when you're one man kind of trying to run the show. So, I mean, of course, I saw the chatter about this Hardline game. So, I don't know, Benson's or Anna, could you kind of elaborate on it a bit?
Well, I definitely, I've not read much about it. I've read a little bit, but I saw the leaked, it was about 7 minutes of leaked footage. And when I first heard about it, I was kind of hopeful. I was thinking, this could be really good. But after seeing the footage, it just looked like Battlefield, but with cops and robbers skins. So I don't know.
Isn't Visceral make it? It's not DICE.
It is Visceral making the game. But from what I've seen, it just looks pretty much more of the same, but with, like I said, different skins, different vehicles. Although, to be fair, it was a 7-minute video that was leaked, wasn't meant to be shown to general public. So, take from that what you will. But I'm not overly impressed, I would say, especially knowing. Like yourself, you're saying, he's a bit worried about Battlefront. The same with myself. I'm a bit more wary now when it comes to Battlefield and especially this new Hardline as to whether it's actually going to be any good. I mean, because DICE seem to be doing so much, are they neglecting Battlefield 4? Is that why there were so many problems? I mean, that's not that's
a good point.
Doesn't bode well for other games.
Maybe stretching themselves a little too thin.
Yeah, and although it is made by Visceral, I'm pretty sure that DICE are going to have a massive hand in how it plays out, because obviously Battlefield is their baby, it's their child. So they're going to want to make sure that it lives up to...
Do they still own the rights to the IP, or does EA own Battlefield?
I think EA are they're like Sauron, all-consuming, the all-consuming eye, I think.
Right, so it's kind of like the Activision with the Call of Duty property where, Infinity Ward created Call of Duty, Activision essentially bought the license and then farmed it out to other studios.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe DICE own the engine. That could be theirs. So the Frostbite engine is probably DICE's, I think. But the Battlefield name has definitely... I'm pretty sure it's been bought by EA. It should have been by now. I mean, it's not like they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
Honestly, that leaked footage was probably being prepared for E3, so I'm sure we'll get maybe...
No, I don't know, because it had
official
a different...
look.
It's not... it looked to me like a presentation for almost like corporate backing or...
like a pitch video?
Yeah, because it used a completely different name, a working title.
Got it.
So it didn't have the actual hardline, Battlefield hardline. It was something else. Like I can't remember what it was called, but working title.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. So, any thoughts on hardline? Was that something that would even interest you, or?
I didn't even get to see the footage, so
yeah, you're like me. You just
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, I just kind of wrote it off. I'm like, Battlefield, me. So what?
Yeah,
I got shit to do.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, it's okay. So, kind of another prediction or want. I mean, it's known that there's going to be another Uncharted, right? But we haven't seen anything yet. So I think Sony will probably show something off in regards to the Uncharted franchise. And even though they've tried to put it to bed, I would also not be surprised if Kratos or the God of War franchise makes its way to the PS4 somehow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big one for them, so I'm pretty sure that they'll have something to say about it.
You know what might let me start that again. What else might make an appearance at E3? Maybe we'll get some footage for Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Ubisoft's probably been working on that for a couple years now, so I'm sure they have pretty finalized assets to show off. I
mean, but I'm always a sucker for Assassin's Creed, so it doesn't matter.
I could play. I wish Ubisoft took the direction with 4 that they did with the Ezio games, and they actually made 3 games.
Oh yeah,
for Kenway or for Edward.
Yeah,
I thought AC4 was probably one of my favorites, even though it's not really a true Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
but I loved it. I mean, I spent so much freaking time out on my ship, just sailing the sea, blowing shit up and looting. I mean,
right. And it took forever. Well, for me, it took forever to finish the game, just because I would get distracted by side missions. I'm like, well, I've got to go over there, but I can go to this island here, and then I can go underwater over there. And but there's a cave.
It's easily a 30 to 40 hour game, if not more, if you go for full achievements or full trophies.
I mean, it's an Ubi trademark. If you look at Far Cry, the amount of side quests and side missions in that is staggering.
Speaking of Far Cry, I'm sure we'll see some Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 4.
You guys excited for that? Because I thought Far Cry 3 was awesome.
I still haven't played 3. I'm telling you, I still have a backlog of games that it's ridiculous. That I'm still trying to keep up with everything current, but I'm still falling behind with everything.
Yeah,
so.
You're a dabbler. I've seen on your social network. You play a little bit and then move on to the next one. You like variety.
I've been hooked on the PS4 because of how easy it is to do screenshots, and I'm just a sucker for screenshots and sharing things when I'm playing, that I'm like,
well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I kind of put out a tweet earlier in the week, because like Anna, I've actually, and this is odd for me, because the previous generation, any multi-platform game, without question, I was getting for the Xbox 360. I mean, it had a better online platform, better platform for chatting. I liked the controller better. So going into this generation, I was going to keep my loyalties with Microsoft. But because of what Anna said, with the PS4's ability to take screenshots on the fly, take clips on the fly, and the new Share Factory app, I'm finding it hard not to use the PS4 exclusively for games I review.
Yep.
Because
it's just so easy.
Yeah, I can grab screens of stuff I want to show. Where when we do reviews, a lot of times we have to use assets given to us, and we kind of have to work an existing screenshot that, let's face it, is doctored up and it doesn't look like it would in the game. And we kind of have to work that into our writing to reflect what we're writing. But now, if I see something in a game that I think is either awesome or bothers me or it's curious, I can be like, bam, screenshot, I've got it. I can use it for my review if I want it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I already enjoy the screenshot feature. In fact, I enjoy the capture feature quite a lot as well. I've made quite a lot of videos. I did
see today though that Microsoft is working on screenshots finally. So.
Yeah. Well, it's about time. I mean, because there's so many moments in Titanfall that I'm like, oh, I really want a screenshot of this. Or do I really have to say Xbox record to record a game clip? Because there's awesome moments that I want to share, but I can't because I have to say to record, like tell it to record.
There's no other way.
Well, I think at all times it keeps a buffer going, but you still kind of have to stop things up and bring up the upload studio or whatever the hell it's called. And actually say, yes, save that last 15 minutes of gameplay. It's not like the PS4, you can actually, if you double tap the share button, it will record a clip. If you hold the share button, it will take a screenshot. Or, if you just single press it, it'll give you the menu and you can decide which one you want to use.
Super.
But I have noticed, the PS4 controller, 10 times better than 3. But even when I've been playing Watch Dogs, which does have some shooting mechanics, I'm still finding that I do not like the PS4 triggers and whatnot for aiming and shooting.
I will agree with you on that.
So shooters I probably will get for Xbox One moving forward.
Yeah. I'm definitely more comfortable on an Xbox controller when it comes to my first person and third person shooter games, but anything open world that doesn't really require me to focus on any one thing with a weapon, I'm good for it on the PS4 because it just fits better.
For me, it's the other way around.
Hands.
I spent so much time on the Xbox last gen. In fact, I didn't get a PlayStation 3 until just after Microsoft announced their plans for the Xbox One. And I was just like, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm done with you. And I took all my stuff.
You took it outside, burned it, and you had a funeral for it? Yeah.
I raged and I went down to my local shop. Or it's called Game over here. You've got one called GameStop. And just traded everything in. Just thought, fuck it. Got enough money to get myself a PlayStation 3, and I did. And although I hated the DualShock 3, absolutely hated it. The triggers, everyone knows it was a fucking terrible controller. When I got my hands on the DualShock 4, I was in love. I love it. And even if I go back to a 360 controller now, apart from the stick placement, where the fact that you've got the left stick higher than the right stick, I prefer everything else on the DualShock 4. Tighter. I just find the triggers are tighter. There's not so.
Yeah, see, I actually think that the triggers have too much give on the PS4. It's too much. It feels like there's a padding almost you have to get through. But,
oh no, I like that.
To each their own. I mean,
I like the resistance. I like to have something that resists against my finger, so that. Yeah, like you say, it's each to their own.
And let's face it, the PlayStation controllers, even on the 4, they're still pussy. I mean, they're not made out of some thick plastic, so they really can't take beatings from psychos like myself. I almost destroyed my first PS4 controller playing Bound by Flame a couple weeks ago. I only slightly split it open. It's not completely ruined, so I'm good to go. But
see, if you rage playing games, if you rage that much playing games, like, stop playing that game. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Like, just
I don't know what to tell you, Benson's. It's one of those deals. I mean, it's okay. You start something, you want to finish it. So that's usually what it comes down for me. I'll start a game on a difficulty. I'm going to finish it on that difficulty. Even if it's going to give me a freaking aneurysm, I'm going to do it. I don't care if I'm biting myself, smashing $50 controllers or whatnot. I will beat the game. So that's why I do it. And you're completely correct. I've probably shaved years and years off my life by sticking through and feeling all that stress and cortisol running through my body when I'm all whacked out over a video game. But hey, that's just who I am. I put a hole
fair
through my
enough.
wall when I
That's
was
fair
8
enough.
years old playing freaking Batman on the Nintendo. So I've been doing it since I've been gaming.
I grew out of it. I don't know why. I just one day. I don't mean that in a derogatory, like, haha, I grew out of it.
No,
child.
it's
I mean, like,
honestly, it's good because it's a mental problem. I literally have a mental problem with games.
yeah, I just don't know why. I used to try and rip my original PlayStation and PlayStation 2 controllers. I used to be able to twist them. I remember twisting it so hard that I would actually end up bending the plastic. I wasn't strong enough to rip it in half at that point, but yeah, I used to do all kinds of
360
things.
controllers, I got really efficient at, if you flip it upside down and hold by kind of, the prong, the grips that come out of the bottom. If you do like a chest press with it, you can get it to split pretty easy. So I did that multiple times. Like I said, I dropped $300 on 360 controllers during its tenure. So far, no broken hardware with the Xbox One or the PS4, and I'm going to try to keep it that way until the next generation.
Yeah, that's something good to aim for.
Yeah, exactly. Considering I'm almost freaking 34 years old and still spaz out like I'm 8, but whatever. So let's kind of wrap up E3. It's okay. I'm getting to you guys. Yeah, no, I just, for me, that's kind of what I'm predicting. I was lazy. I mean, to be honest with you, behind the scenes, when you have to get ready to go to E3 and cover it, it's a freaking nightmare. So for the past 3 weeks, I've been doing nothing but working with PR reps and developers and setting up interview schedules. So like I said, I've been all over the place. And when my buddy Wu-Tang Clan isn't on the desk full time to support me, it gets kind of hectic. So that's my cheap little predictions in once. Let's go ahead and Benson's, if you have any that we didn't talk about, let her rip.
There's not many that I can think of that haven't already had some kind of footage or even a playable demo already. I'm going to say that I think a big game that a lot of people are going to really come away with some good impressions on is Evolve.
Toasty!
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to be quite a big thing. I don't know why. I just got a feeling that it's going to be.
Yeah, just from PAX East, it was easily the biggest draw, and they've added that they're going to be showing off more characters.
That's all good. I haven't personally played it, and I'm really jealous of people that have because it just looks awesome, and they keep releasing new details about new monsters and new survivors. So I think they're really putting the effort in to make it a really good, fun experience, especially I think if you can get a party of friends together, it can just be one of those games where
that's going to be the key. You'd spend a Friday night or Saturday night for probably 3 or 4 hours with the same 5 people just playing over and over.
Yeah, some good friends, and
it definitely has that potential.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's what I think is going to be its biggest draw. Also, I think that we might see something from Software, who did the Dark Souls series, and it looks like, I mean, there was some footage that some people had cobbled together of all these clips. I think it was on Reddit, and it looks like there is a Demon Souls 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something on that.
Yeah, I saw some sprinklings about that, so that's a good call.
Yeah, and last one, it will be Deep Down from Capcom, because they showed it at E3 last year, and there's been a smattering of information around.
And that's a PS4 exclusive, right, or no?
I think it is a PS4 exclusive, yeah. Yeah, last time I heard about it, it was a PS4 exclusive. I mean,
I guess one game we didn't talk about that's been getting a lot of heat is The Order, 1886.
Yeah.
I don't think that's due out till 2015 now. I can't remember, but
I'm just going to come out and say it looks like
Gears of War in the Victorian era, really.
It looks like Gears of War. To be honest with you. It looks so fucking generic. Honestly, it looks so bland and generic, and they can talk about graphics this and graphics that.
I know, it's troubling because if you read any of the preview pieces about the concept and the world that the game was set in, it was very interesting. I mean, basically,
no doubt.
They're like a modern day Knights of the Round Table. I mean, these people essentially live a long time after they pledge their lives to this order, and they're combating this subset of the human species that's kind of turned into these evil demon
Yeah.
type of thing. So
I mean, I should be excited, shouldn't I? Because it's set in London town. Way
good old London town. Yeah.
Hello, Mary.
G'day,
I
governor.
should be.
Have any
I should be
cheese and
happy about
crumpets?
But it just looks so, meh. Time will tell, though.
Time will tell.
They are definitely going for like a movie feel with it, even to the point where they're saying that. I mean, this is so pathetically funny, but people are like, "How come it's not 60 frames per second?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, but we wanted to do it at some kind of like movie." I think it's like 24 or 30.
Yeah, it'd be 24 then if it's a movie.
Yeah, that was their excuse. It's just like, shut up. We're not talking about movies. We're talking about games. What are you? Are you a are you a game developer that wants to be a movie director?
Right.
Or are you a game developer?
Yeah, at this point in time, you either make a story game like what Telltale has perfected, or you make a video game.
Well, yeah, I mean,
look at video games.
Look at The Last of Us. Brilliant story, very cinematic,
right.
But it was still a game. It was still
it had good gameplay. It was fun.
Yeah, that's it.
It was challenging. Yeah, I mean, you got to have one or the other. You can't kind of be in the middle.
Yeah, and then like you say, on the other side of that, you've got like The Walking Dead, Telltale, The Wolf Among Us, which you should all check out. Check out the review I did for the fourth installment.
Oh man, I gotta play.
It was a good episode. It was really good.
It is, yeah, it's good.
I have to say, I mean, I thought The Walking Dead was pretty good. I don't know if it deserved Game of the Year and all that jazz a couple years ago. I think season 2 of The Walking Dead is better than season 1, but I think The Wolf Among Us is better than both of them.
I like The Wolf. I think it's more adult without being as graphic.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And honestly, it's a property that I don't know. I mean, I had no clue about the Fabletown comics before this. So I don't think it's as visible as a property right now as The Walking Dead is, which is all over the place thanks to the TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But I've not played episode 4, so no spoilers, but I am through 3 and I've enjoyed every single one. I love the unique take on these fairy tale characters that we all grew up listening to as children, and it gets pretty graphic sometimes. So
yeah, but it's done in like I said, it's more of an adult way. Like with The Walking Dead, it was very much an emphasis on like the gore, and there was the whole psychological thing as well.
Well, yeah, but the decisions still mess with you. Like they make you feel like a piece of shit. Regardless if you go this way or that way. I mean, there's a decision at the end of episode 3 in The Wolf where you have to decide to kind of go full wolf or not full wolf, and I felt bad either way.
That's how I was.
That's awesome.
For the first episode of The Walking Dead, I was absolutely mortified because I played every episode back to back to back, so I didn't have time in between to really think about the decisions that I made. I just kept going, and like by the time I finished playing it, I was in tears because I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Why did I do that?
Oh yeah, you can wipe out characters in a couple episodes down if you make a certain decision.
It was absolutely horrible. I'm like, is that really what I'm gonna be like in a zombie filled world?
Have you played episode 3 of season 2 then? Yeah,
I'm all caught up.
Okay, because I just played that one, and man, my little Clem is a heartless badass. Yeah. That's how I took her.
Yeah,
so, but again, those decisions were messed up. I was sitting there going, man, I know it's just a video game and it really doesn't matter, but is it okay to have a human put into this situation as a kid and then actually have them do this?
And her just be so whatever, it's a way of life now. I have to survive.
She's kind of like Carl.
Yeah.
She's like Carl from the show.
Yeah.
I mean, a little kid that was just a naive little kid, and then the zombie apocalypse hit, and she basically saw everyone she loved about die, and now she knows what it takes to survive. So sorry about that. Benson's another little tangent we got on with the Wolf mention. But yeah, like Benson said, he's been reviewing The Wolf for us, and he put out his review for episode 4 this week. So we'll link to it in the kind of wrap-up post for this Buddhacast.
That's me done about E3. I can't really think of anything else, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I already know they're not showing off Game of Thrones from Telltale, so we don't have to discuss that. They are showing off Tales from the Borderlands, which will probably undoubtedly be good. I I don't really know if Telltale could make a bad story game at this point, unless it just gets into The Walking Dead season 30. Where it's
I see that the Game of Thrones is perfectly tailored for their type of game.
Oh, without a doubt.
Borderlands, not so much. So that'd be interesting to see.
There's some lore there. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Oh yeah, there's some lore there, but is it the kind of game? I mean, like Borderlands has always been a crazy blast fest of ridiculous good fun.
True.
Rather than any kind of serious, chin stroking, methodical thinking, or any kind of like rush, under pressure decision. So
now, if it was a game just about Claptrap, it would be guaranteed to be awesome.
Oh yeah, Claptrap is like the best character,
easily
of
one of the best
Borderlands
characters.
series. Just the
He's
best.
right up there with R2D2.
You're not a fan of Tiny Tina?
Oh, Tiny Tina and Claptrap. They're my homies. Like I love them, especially Tiny Tina. I love that. I love that girl.
See, I haven't played Borderlands 1 or 2.
What you need to play the second one?
Yeah, I've watched.
They were even free at one point, mate. I mean, they're free on the. I think Borderlands 2 is free on the PS3.
Borderlands 1 is good, but the second one is just
10 times
hilarious. It's funny. The DLC is really good. Tiny Tina is especially really.
Handsome Jack is a great antagonist.
I think, after playing Wolfenstein and having, without going into too much detail because we'll talk about it later, but after playing Wolfenstein and having like really good fun just playing a shooter that I don't have to think too much about, I think I might give Borderlands a go because that's the kind of game I see.
Oh yeah, it's brainless. It is brainless.
Finger on the trigger until the magazine's empty. Reload another one.
Wolfenstein, you at least have some sort of objectives and paths to follow. Borderlands, I mean, there's a main mission, but you can just be like, all right, fuck it, and just start running around shooting shit, building guns, and shooting more shit, and getting more loot and XP. And 2 hours later, like, well, I didn't accomplish anything. I didn't even do a damn side quest. So, hey, it's fun. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours playing Borderlands 2. A lot.
Yeah, it's a great co-op game too. I mean, that's one of those, you can do local co-op or online, 4-player, just go at it and beat the tar out of bad guys and get loot.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Anna, anything from you, or do you have something left, Benson?
No, I don't.
There was one more, and it's intriguing only because of how cinematic it looks, and I kind of dig the story is Quantum Break.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah, it just looks so cool. I'm sorry,
That's still part of the whole Microsoft TV thing, isn't it? So
it's it's weird. I'm hoping to learn a little bit more, but it is, Jim's right. It kind of mixes the real world with a game world, I believe, where you can. It kind of the decisions you make, you're almost like a contestant on a show. I don't know. I'm speaking completely out of my ass right now.
From what I've taken away from it, it's there's events you have to stop, or you just have to prevent things from happening, but you can stop time and just move things around while time is frozen, and then
so like Quicksilver in Days of Future Past. Yeah, that scene. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Okay,
but
I could see that where you like move certain items. Like again, you could see maybe a shrapnel headed towards a lady with a baby, and you could push it out of the way, and she could live or die. Stuff like that. Okay.
I mean, that's what I take away from it, but hopefully. More will be revealed because I think in their teaser they said they're going to be debuting.
Yeah, Gamescom.
Gamescom. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not E3. My bad.
Gamescom is pretty much E3 for Europe. Is that right, Benson's? Isn't that in Germany and Deutschland?
Yeah, Gamescom is. It's the big.
But
it's one of the biggest
they let regular people go there too, though, right? I mean, it's I guess it's kind of like PAX.
Regular people.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a pretentious asshole in games journalism, but E3. I mean, you can't just bypass E3.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Like, is it media only?
Yeah, I believe Gamescom's wide open.
Actually, I thought E3 you had one day for the media and then it was open to the public.
Nah, man, and trust me, there's sometimes I look at people that have to wait in the lines. I'm like, how did you get in here? It's supposed to be for industry people only. So it could be students in gaming, it could be developers, it could be people that sell peripherals, the people that work for that company, they can come, but there is no public E3 badge.
Well, all I'm going to say is rather you than me, dude. I could not be in that space with that many people. It would drive me insane.
It's an ass kick, dude. I mean, I'll never complain about having the privilege to go to E3 because it was a dream of mine as a young kid watching these, and being able to actually go as a media member and getting access is freaking fantastic. But it is an ass kick week. I mean, I'm talking from Monday morning until Thursday night. It's nonstop meetings, appointments. You're on your feet. Your back feels like it's going to blow out. It smells. There's people everywhere. You're running into people. People are stopping to take fucking pictures right in the middle of the walkway. So yeah, it's rough. But every year I'm glad to be going back. And usually by Thursday night, I usually can reflect on a very productive week. But yeah, trust me, it's a people mess.
Yeah, and because there's so much to see as well, it just must.
Unfortunately, we only have one person going from EB because Raymond couldn't make it out. So I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff with my buddy that works for SiriusXM.
Hey, shit, dude, if you want to pay for my flight.
Yeah. Well, we might have to think about stuff for next year because what I was going to say is it's just getting to the point where two people can't even remotely hit everything to see. I mean, right now we have a 2-man schedule going for E3, and we have bookings for every hour of the show, and we don't even have confirmed visits with EA, Ubisoft, or 2K yet. I mean, that's just getting in Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. It's ridiculous, and there's just too much now. So,
and it's only going to get bigger as well. It's only going to expand as the gaming industry expands.
Yeah,
I mean, you think about E, because I remember E3. E3's always been like the kind of like the big one.
To me, it's the most prestigious. Yeah, E3 is the gaming event of the year. Any big reveals should come at E3. Although some of the Microsoft and Sony kind of bucked the trend last year doing the console reveals pre E3. But yeah, E3 is where it's at.
I mean, imagine like how much smaller. Rather, E3 was 20 years ago.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's been around probably about that long.
Well, there was a point in time where public could go. I mean, it was probably only maybe 8-10 years ago max where the E3 organizers basically said, "Yeah, we're going to just make this media only." So I think it used to be more like PAX, more like Gamescom, where everyone got to go.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Well, anything else, team, on E3, or is that pretty much what we're predicting or wanting to see? At least I guess we're pretty easy to please group. We're not asking for the world or anything here.
No, just what we want.
We just want damn games to play on these new consoles. Really, I mean that's my goal. I want to see some games, new games to play.
I don't want to speculate on games that I think will be there because I'd rather hear about some new IPs. And I think Sony will show more than Microsoft when it comes to new IPs. I think Microsoft are going to rely on some tried and, like you said, Halo 5, Gears of War. What's that going to be? It's going to be the fourth one? No, fifth. Yeah, it's going to be the fifth one because they had that really terrible
Judgment.
Yeah, so bad. But I think after the battering that Microsoft have taken over the last year, they're going to drop in some sweetness for
well, like you said, I think it's going to be another pissing match between those two. And Microsoft, as always, they go first. They go in the morning, Sony goes at night. So Sony kind of has the advantage there. But I think it's going to be a competition to see. Are you
ready for your next Call of Duty with exclusive timed content?
Yeah, right.
Yada.
But no, I think it's going to be a competition between the two. Who can announce more new exclusive IPs than the other?
Yeah.
So, which is great for us. It's great for us. I think
that's what it is, though. New IPs are what people want to see. As myself, personally, I want to see new IPs because I'm tired of seeing Gears. I'm tired of seeing Halo. I mean, shit, I'm kind of tired of Battlefield now. It's just the same, just, gets a bit more refined each time. And that reminds me of last gen. I'm now on, the current gen, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox
unfortunately,
One.
we're going to get IPs. Repetition because of money. I mean, if they know they can make money on a franchise, they're going to make them.
But the thing is, it's like, right, okay, you've got like whole new consoles with new processors, much larger RAM. Start fucking using it, devs. You know, like show me some games where it takes advantage of that. And in fact, I hope to God we see some of the Division. If Ubi come out and show some of the Division, I'm going to be so happy because that game blew my head off when they showed that little. I say little, it was probably about 10 minutes, wasn't it, of gameplay. And if they better not they better not pull a Watch Dogs on it and downgrade that bastard. I want it exactly how it looks in the trailer. God damn you, Ubi.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice transition there. You bring up Watch Dogs. I guess we can get into talking about
Watch
Dogs. So we're going to move into our second segment of the show and just kind of, we like to sit around and talk about the games we've been playing since our last
Isn't
cast.
Hayden Pierce an interesting character?
Yeah, right. So anyways, we'll start with Watch Dogs, and go ahead, guys. You kick it off.
I'm still not that far into the game because I got through like the very beginning, like with the sister, and when I was on my way to find the guy you have to pick up in the car and deliver him somewhere, I had to find someone to hack or find someone, prevent someone from hacking me.
Yeah, when assholes jump into your game and fuck up your mission. Yeah, I love that.
And I'm like, really? Come on. Like, it's bad enough. I've just spent a lot of time running around. Like, I'm just running around and just hacking people and just distracting them and seeing what interesting text messages come up.
Before we go too far, I mean, I'm assuming we're all just as lazy. Can you turn off that drop-in bullshit where just random people playing online can drop into your game and hack you?
Just disconnect.
Because like Anna said, it's annoying as hell. Yeah, I think it's cool that it has dynamic multiplayer, essentially, where you never have to leave the world. But when I'm going on a mission, like Anna said, and you're kind of focused on that mission, you've been farting around, you're ready to get down to the nitty gritty, and then it just completely kicks you out and says, there's someone in the city trying to hack you. I'm just going, who cares? I don't give a shit. Just let me go to my mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
And then,
I totally get that.
Yeah.
It's super annoying.
So anyway, with me and Watch Dogs, I mean, obviously it was hyped to hell and back. I never bought into the hype from day one. I'm not asking for a trophy or a medal or anything, but I just, it's like whatever. Another open world game. Okay, he hacks instead of shoots, but guess what? You usually do more shooting than hacking in Watch Dogs anyways, because if you try to do it the diplomatic way, you usually end up getting your ass kicked. Like last night, I tried to end the mission by escaping from the fixers, which are these people that come and try to kill you. And it was impossible because as soon as you leave, and I think Benson's we were talking about this in Skype earlier in the week.
Oh, yeah, I saw that in the chat.
The police AI or the chase AI,
the motherfucking police.
It cheats like a motherfucker. I mean, you cannot get away.
Yeah.
The only way you can get away from at least the fixers when they chase you is to get out of your car, get out your guns, and kill them all. That is it.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get them to leave you alone because for some reason, you can't shake them. Yeah, you could maybe stop the bridge or raise a bridge or raise posts in the road, and that'll stop the flow of traffic. But guess what?
You just keep driving down the road, pressing square.
Right, and then they got a chopper on your tail, and and then all of a sudden they're right back on your ass. Somehow they got around those roadblocks you set up, and you're right back at it.
I do enjoy causing a traffic jam and then taking a selfie. Because that's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah,
but to be fair, I enjoyed doing it in GTA 5 more because in GTA 5, to cause a pile-up, all I have to do is park a car at a junction and stand there with my phone rather than doing something. I mean, that was more dynamic because I have to actually physically do something, whereas in Watch Dogs, it's just press a button and it will do it for you. I just find that the hacking side of it was supposed to be the thing.
Crash last night. It was between an ambulance, a fire truck, and a police truck. I just stood on the corner. I mean, this is what you end up doing in Watch Dogs because the story is completely forgettable. But I was just standing there waiting for the light to change, and then I switched it, and then there's a big, massive head-on collision between all these emergency vehicles. Yeah. But
you see, we just going back to the story, when I first played it, I was actually starting to get engaged. I was thinking, oh, this is actually going to be really good. Because of that guy's name, the Asian guy who's just a complete arsehole. But he's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like that supporting character was brilliant, and I really enjoyed it. But as soon as it started to get into it a bit more, it was just like, oh my god, yeah.
I think the general gist is this Aiden Pierce guy. He's a hacker, and he pissed off the wrong people, and they came after his family, and he was in the car with his niece, and his niece died, and it's like, who gives a shit?
That's what confused me at first, because I'm thinking, well, it's another generic, husband, wife, family, and then you find out that it's the sister and it's his niece and a nephew. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care about Aiden Pierce. I still don't care about him. I'm not saying I hate the game. I've actually learned to like it a lot more than I did when I first put it in, but when you compare the story to what was just done in GTA 5, I mean, it's laughable. I mean, from the moment you put GTA 5 in, you're in love with the characters, right? You start out with Franklin and his boy, robbing a car. I mean,
this is why they did 3 separate characters in GTA. I mean, Rockstar were very, very clever.
Yeah, you had 3 awesome stories that all intertwined and ended up with a great conclusion. I mean, I haven't sensed that in Watch Dogs one bit, and I'm probably already 8 hours in, so I know it's not coming at this point. Like I said, there is some sort of end game that Aiden's going for, but it's just so glazed over and just generic that I could care less.
The thing that really kind of slammed home that Watch Dogs, I mean, it's like you say, it's not a bad game. It's an average game. For me, it ticks some boxes, but doesn't tick a lot of other boxes, and the boxes that it does tick have been ticked many times before by Ubisoft. I mean, like here's the crowning example, and we can use Assassin's Creed and Far Cry to compare against. Now, in Assassin's Creed, everybody knows that in order to see a certain area of the map, you have to climb a tower. It's exactly the same in Far Cry 3. And what have we got in Watch Dogs? Climb something, hack a tower, and suddenly we reveal things on the map. And it's just like, all you've done is you've taken the mechanics from games that you've made before in the last gen, which admittedly were good games, and then dumped them in this game. And I expected so much more. I expected more from the hacking, rather than just, press a button and it does things for you. And the missions seemed like kind of generic as well. I mean, like, Aiden seems so powerful. It seems so easy when you're on a mission, just to, like, if things go wrong, just to whip out your guns and start blazing away.
Or you could use that focus mode and slow down time and just easily pick people, go bang, bang.
Yeah, it just seems.
I think Watch Dogs is a victim of its own hype. It's one of those games that 100% was just blown up for 2 years straight, and then it had that delay, which caused even more hype. And GTA games, they get huge hype too, but guess what? They deliver.
Yeah.
I mean, they come through on it. GTA 5 did have new stuff for the franchise, and one of it being a 3-man story. I mean, that had never been done before.
I wonder if there's going to be an announcement by Rockstar about PC and next gen.
Good call. Yeah, they got to have something going for next gen at this point.
They have to, yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, just to bring it back to Watch Dogs again. I mean, they did try. It is a massive game world. There is a lot in there.
You know what, though? I've heard even doing side quests, you could probably beat it in under 20 hours.
Really?
Where GTA, I don't know about you guys, but just to play through the story and a sprinkling of side quests, it took me almost 40.
I think I did the game in under 40. I can't remember though, but I did do it like a marathon session of like several days, sat in my pants. Yeah, I mean, sat in my boxers.
I know the guy
wiping the crisps off my beer belly.
Diapers.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know the guy that he's the games editor for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, which is a fairly large paper in the country over here, and he got an early review copy of Watch Dogs. So I asked him, like, hey man, how long did it take? And he said 15, 20 hours with side quests. I'm like, yeah,
so that's pretty bad for an open world game.
Yeah, considering Wolfenstein took about 15 hours and it's a shooter. So
Yeah, can we get on to Wolfenstein?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Let's talk about something good.
I'll be putting out a review of Watch Dogs hopefully next week. Again, it's not a bad game at all. I'm thinking right now it's probably going to be high 7, maybe low 8.
I think the thing to take away from it all is that it's not the game that defines the next generation like everybody was hoping it would be.
Not even close.
And I think people were looking at Watch Dogs and going, this is why I got a next gen console. This is why I spent, all that money for the next gen so I can play a game that not only looks fantastic, but has new mechanics and new ways of doing things and uses the console to its full potential. And it just...
Yeah, and I hope that's what this E3 provides for us gamers that want a next gen experience.
Something I was actually reading was that if you remember back to the first Assassin's Creed, that game was incredibly boring. It had a lot of elements that were really cool and really interesting.
But I loved every second of it. I mean,
see, I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy so much the collecting. That was a bit of a chore. But everything else I really enjoyed. But the second game blew everyone away. It was a much better game. It was much more refined. They really, thought about how they could improve it and expand upon it and make the first, make the second game how they wanted the first game to really play like. And I think that's going to be the same with Watch Dogs. I think there's going to be a second Watch Dogs now. It's going to, it's been a success. It's Ubi's fastest selling game.
Oh yeah, I mean, the pre-orders were ridiculous for it.
Yeah, I think it's their fastest selling game. Period. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure I read that this week. So Ubisoft being Ubisoft, that they're going to turn that into a yearly or biannual franchise. So expect a Watch Dogs 2. And hopefully they will they'll do like what they did with Assassin's Creed and really like up the ante on it.
And like we've been talking, I mean, this is a game that was developed for multiple consoles and different generations with different power. So
this generation crossing,
you're not going to get a pure, brand new game for the new consoles that is just tweaked to the nines to use all the new power until they stop making games for the 360 and the PS3.
Yep. Definitely.
Speaking of which, I need to figure out some logistics with Ubisoft, but I'm just going to kind of tease it out there. But I think we should be able to be giving away a copy of Watch Dogs for the Xbox 360 and the PS3 next week. So stay tuned for details. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be allowed to give these out. So we will be giving out the game on the older platforms for those of you that didn't get in with the early adopters on the Xbox One and PS4. Because EB likes to give back to gamers. That's what EB freebies. That's how we roll, people. Get with the freaking program. Come on. Why aren't more of you in with Entertainment Buddha? I just don't get it. Anyways, let's move on to the next game. I think we've all kind of dabbled in. I know I've beaten. I want to play it again, which is odd for me in a shooter, and that is Wolfenstein: The New Order, starring America's biggest badass, BJ Blazkowicz, whose first name is Wilhelm, I believe.
Wilhelm?
I thought it was William. Well, I don't want to say anything. Never mind.
I was thinking something else.
Yeah, if you've beat the game, there's
you don't. I mean, even if you've played previous games.
All I'm going to say is the bad guy, his name is Wilhelm, and at one point he says, we share the same name. So that's where I came out with Wilhelm. And I think the Anya, the Polish girl, was calling him Wilhelm too. Maybe that's just how they say William in over there, but who cares? Who cares about his name? Let's talk about what he does best, and that's killing Nazis.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so anyways, Wolfenstein: The New Order is like the 9th or 10th game in the franchise. This first
it's
one,
something quite high.
Yeah, first one in a little bit of time. I think at least since 2009. It's by Machine Games, distributed by Bethesda, and it's been out for over a week now. Put the review out last Friday, gave it very high marks. But this game is easily going to be on everyone's probably top 10 games of the year list, if not top 5. I'm not going to say it may win Game of the Year, but I'm also going to say it shouldn't be considered in that conversation. It gets back to great FPS controls, tight shooting with a story. We developers kind of migrated away from focusing on a nice long single player campaign for shooters because they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll just tack on multiplayer and do a 4-hour campaign, and our game will be played for 2 years straight because of the multiplayer. So, a lot of FPS devs or FPS franchises have kind of adopted that model and gone away from nice, long, thought-out, story-based campaigns. I mean, I think Halo 4 is the only other game I can think of recent memory that featured a nice, long, thoughtful campaign with great shooting. And that's what Wolfenstein: The New Order is. I mean, from the get-go, the moment you wake up in a plane on your way to take on like a last-ditch offensive against Death's Head, who's the
prologue is
evil Nazi bastard.
It's pretty long as well, isn't it?
Oh, dude, that prologue's like over. It might even be an hour and a half long, where you're like, you almost think you're playing the game, and then you kind of make that jump, and it's like, bam, okay.
Yeah. There's credits. It's like, whoa.
and when I played that at PAX, that's what really sunk in with me. It's like, holy shit, man, that prologue was awesome, and it really got me engaged with the world and the characters.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that it's hella good fun. That's all I'm gonna say. Really. If you haven't already haven't picked it up already, go and do it because it is a blast. Really good fun.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer buy. Yeah. I mean, this isn't even a rent. This is
it's a game where you don't need to be good at first-person shooters. Yet, if you are good at first-person shooters, you're still going to have just as much fun as somebody who doesn't need to aim. Just aim your shotguns. And shotguns, that's plural. 2 of them.
I mean, it has multiple difficulty settings too. I mean, so like Benson said, I mean, if you don't want to deal with any sort of skill or even want to try to aim, you can pick the easiest setting, which has BJ wearing like a baby bonnet.
Oh yeah, at the beginning.
Or if you want to torture yourself, you can take it all the way to the far end where BJ has this demented look with like scars on his face.
That's a trademark of Wolfenstein, though. That is the
depending on how many pickups you get, you can unlock 4 additional modes. I think there's a 1999, an Iron Man, a super duper hardcore, and another one. So again, Wolfenstein: The New Order offers a whole bunch of replayability because not only do you have to make a fateful decision during the prologue, which will kind of alter the way your remaining campaign plays out, but it does offer those unlocks. It does have pickups that actually get you new content or a new mode to play. So you should probably at least play through this game twice. If you're an achievement whore or a trophy junkie, you're probably going to play through it multiple times to do the difficulty.
Yeah, personally, I'm going to play through it twice simply because I've enjoyed it so much that I'm going to run out of Nazis to kill at some point. And
yeah, I'm right with you. I finished it, and if I didn't have to get right on Watch Dogs to flip a review, I would have played another run at it just because I really enjoyed it. I mean, the gameplay is fun as fuck. The story, yeah, it's a little crazy sometimes. I mean, BJ's essentially a Superman that only kills
it
Nazis.
Is kind of weird having that serious story juxtaposed against, like you say, dual-wielding shotguns.
Some crazy gameplay, but the story, it's tasteful. I mean, it has some sex scenes, but they make sense. I mean, you actually feel that these two are kind of falling for each other, and they're kind of setting up the inevitable letdown towards the end of loss and whatnot. But love the game. Anna, do you have anything to add on Wolfenstein? Have you beaten it yet, or just kind of played through?
Dabbled in it. Like I've been doing.
On your dabble list of games.
That's on my list of games to finish at some point in my life.
Yeah, that's one this weekend. If you have free time, just schedule about 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah,
and just let her rip.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll be doing. Just playing.
Because I'm not kidding. I mean, anyone I've talked to, and if you look at the reviews that came out, I mean, this game will be on the Game of the Year. At least top 10 game of the year, if not in the discussion for game of the year, because you have to refresh my memory of what's come out so far this year, but I can't really think of any other game, maybe outside of Infamous was great. It didn't really, I mean, I didn't feel as moved by it as I did with Wolfenstein, but right now...
Infamous is an 8 out of 10.
I haven't played a game, I guess, this year where I'm just like, bam, this is easily top 3, probably my game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we're only halfway through.
You can maybe even throw in The Wolf Among Us. I mean, hell, I'd throw that in there. But I don't like giving Game of the Years to those story games. I got like some
and the
philosophical
problem with
beef with that.
Something like The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead is that are they really games or are they interactive books that we...
It was funny. I was playing episode 4 last night, I think, and my husband was like, so you're getting achievements for button mashing, essentially?
They're guaranteed too.
I'm like, no.
200G an episode.
I was like, no. I mean, there's a story. I mean, obviously you have to pick options. I'm like, it's not button mashing.
The Wolf Among Us, actually, some of its achievements, you do have to make certain choices to get them. Where in Walking Dead, it's just if you beat each little checkpoint, bam, you're getting some G, which I'm not gonna complain about. Like we've talked about this. I used to have a severe achievement addiction, but. So anyways, people, Watch Dogs, kind of go at it with a little bit of caution. It's not a bad game at all. You'll definitely get your money's worth out of it. It's just not going to blow you away. Wolfenstein, on the other hand, that I can fully recommend that as a buy, and it should blow you away because it's like I said, it kind of took the old shooter genre back to where it began, where you kind of had a focus on a campaign and a story over just brainless shooting and multiplayer.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap up this episode, I just want to mention a one geeky movie that has released since we talked last, and that is Bryan Singer's X-Men Days of Future Past, which opened last Friday. And we don't have to really go into a full review or anything, but I just...
Do you want my review?
Yeah.
Shit.
I didn't see it yet, right?
You said X-Men.
I'm not going to see it. Yeah, I'm not going to see it. Yeah. But anyways, I really think when you look at all the X-Men movies, this probably takes the cake.
Oh, it definitely does.
You feel like the cast and even Bryan, I mean, they've been making these movies since 2000 that, they know what they're doing now. And this one actually featured a really great story that I thought was, honestly, going into this, I thought it was going to be a clusterfuck of characters and it was just going to be a mess. But the way they split the future settings and the past settings, and how only certain characters appeared in each and some in both, I thought it was ideal. I loved how it essentially erased anything that happened from X-Men Last Stand, the third movie.
I was just gonna say that.
Killed that movie. That movie screwed so many things up that they basically used this Days of Future Past setting to be like, you know what, we're gonna hit the old reboot button.
I agree with you. I was feeling the same way when I left. I'm like, oh my God, X-Men 3, Last Stand never, ever happened.
Yeah, it's gone.
I'm so happy. I was so happy with it. I mean, the first X-Men was really good. The second one was okay, but the third one just jumped the gun and just, no. But this one...
Well, the third one is what I thought this one could have been.
Right.
Like the third one, they're just about throwing characters at you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got Archangel in it, we got this guy in it, and this guy in it, and look, Juggernaut's in it, and look, oh, he's in it too. So that's what I thought this one was going to be, but actually, like I said, they used the characters great, and one of the characters I thought would really suck ended up being my favorite, and that was Quicksilver. I thought the Quicksilver scenes were awesome. I mean, they were hilarious, and I loved that bullet time cinematography where he's kind of running around that circle.
The marketing was all wrong for him because when they showed the stills and what he looked like, I'm like, this is
he looked
ridiculous.
Like a douchebag.
Yeah.
He looked like David Bowie back in the early 70s, cracked out on LSD singing Major Tom or something.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I looking at? I don't get it. And then when you watch it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. And I really liked how, I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anyone, but if I am, spoiler, how they acknowledge that Magneto is his father.
I didn't even pick that up.
How they finally acknowledge that. And when they are watching him on TV with the whole stadium thing, if you notice, his little sister is sitting on his lap in that Scarlet Witch, which is also Magneto's daughter.
What's his last name? I know Benson's about ready to blow his brains out, but their last name, is it Maximoff?
Honestly, I can't remember. I just know who their father is and that it's a big deal.
So I know how our listeners feel.
X-Men is one.
Yeah, I had no clue that Magneto spawned those kids.
Yeah, that X-Men is just the one franchise I'm not fully familiar with, but yeah, I know that much.
It's got Patrick Stewart in it.
Yes.
Yay.
Engage. Engage number one, right? What you used to say?
That's it.
They do.
I always remember Patrick Stewart from his tiny role in Oblivion.
Oblivion?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
The game, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a Star Trek TNG fan as a little kid.
Oh, the next gen.
That's like the only channel I could get. That was the only channel I could get on my little rabbit ear TV as a little kid. I used to love watching those guys, and I just bought. They also did a movie series like the original Star Trek people did, and the movies aren't half bad, really. The ones starring the Next Generation people. So, yes, Captain Picard is in Days of Future Past, and as always, he does a bang up job.
Yeah.
I was going to say that you're saying about
it's actually a pretty
next gen
pretty
stuff.
UK heavy cast, buddy. I mean, it's almost everyone in that production's from your part of the world. So
yeah, that doesn't mean I have any loyalty.
You guys support your countrymen. God save the Queen. Damn it!
Fuck the king. Fuck the Queen.
You can't. Oh yeah, you can't. You probably can't say that. Now you're gonna have Harry show up at your house and beat you up.
Fucking Harry.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Not that I want to get started.
Because we'll be here another hour.
Yeah,
that was rough not having a new episode last week. I'll tell you that.
I think we should have an end of series special.
Oh,
without a doubt,
definitely.
which is great because this year it's not going to end while I'm out at E3. The past 2 years, literally the finale has been the Sunday night before E3.
You do know there's only like 3 episodes left, don't you?
Oh yeah. We got this week, next week, and the week after.
Man.
And I'm pretty sure I know what episode 8's going to be about, and I'm pretty sure I know what the last episode will show. So I'm excited. This season, it's one of the better ones. To me, I still think season 1 is the best. Season 3 to me was
Season 3 was kind of boring.
Yeah, season 2 was good because you got to see Tyrion kind of come into his own.
Yeah,
but this one. Yeah. This one's pretty good. They're glossing over a lot of stuff that the book covers, obviously, because I mean, at this point, a lot of stuff you're seeing, it was in book 3, but a lot of it with the other people like Dany and the Wall and stuff, that's more or less book 4 and 5 we're seeing now. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good ending, and I think some people will be surprised by at least one more major death this season.
Right. Okay.
Sweet. Always looking forward to a major death.
I'm calling for one more major character death, at least one more.
Right. Okay.
Well, we all know. I mean, this isn't a spoiler. We all know either the Red Viper or the Mountain is going to die, right?
Right.
They're the champions of Tyrion's champion is Oberyn Martell,
I wouldn't exactly
who's the Red
class
Viper.
them as main characters.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The Mountain's been around since the first series, but he's not so much a main character.
Yeah, he's not main cast, but there will be, there should be, and I'd assume they'd show it this season, but there should be a major event that happens to 2 main cast members, and one of them will be dead.
I've got a feeling I know which one, and I'm not going to say anything.
My neighbor, so my wife hasn't read the book, so she's just with the show. And my neighbor across the street we were talking about, and he has read the books. And without knowing, he just started vomiting up spoilers left and right. I was like, stop! I mean, he was just like, bam, he just went right for the big spoiler. I'm like, oh man. But not everyone has geek etiquette. Some people just don't understand how awful spoilers can be.
Yeah.
So, well, we got episode 8 of Game of Thrones coming up this Sunday. Next week, do we have any big game releases? I don't think so. Outside of WildStar should shake up the MMO scene a little bit.
No, but Mario Kart came out today.
That's right. I got to go get my copy.
Mario Kart.
Actually, see if Nintendo has working online multiplayer. It should. So I will probably be spending my weekend doing some kart racing and hacking. I don't know about you two, but that sounds like a good weekend.
Well, I've got access to The Forest, which is first impressions of that.
Oh, yes. So we should have a preview coming up in the next week or two. Yeah.
Well, I've got that to do, and also the release of Ground Forces for War Thunder. So It's going to be a pretty busy week next week for me. But first impressions of The Forest are freaky. Yeah, it seems good. It's very early. There are a lot of bugs. But the atmosphere is 100% there already. So...
Good. Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to that. I don't know if you got that email, and I don't know if you like these games or not, but I also recommend checking out that Dead Rock Divide. Just download the pre-alpha and fart around with it. It's kind of neat game. We played it at PAX East.
Oh yeah, is that the one that looks like XCOM?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, just check it out. I mean, you don't have to do anything for it, but he just gave us a pre-alpha build, and I kind of shared it around to you guys, at least you and Ray.
Yeah, cool.
Because I think Anna's like me and anti-PC, but I'm slowly getting there. I'm actually going to do a PC game review, I think, next week.
Whoa!
So. Yeah, I played the bridge on Mac because it just released for the Mac version. I don't know if you've heard of the bridge. It's this kind of MC Escher visual style type of puzzle game. Pretty neat. So I'll do a little review next week.
You need to keep your ears to the ground for the next Civilization then.
Yes. I
Beyond Earth, because that'll be a Mac game that you can
will
review.
play those games for sure.
Civ 5 is
the Civ series.
I love Civ 5. Brilliant game.
Yeah, that's another one where you could wear a diaper and just sit there all day long and shit and piss yourself.
Yeah,
and drink Mountain Dew and eat pork rinds and cheesy poo.
Just to give it some context, my girlfriend, she played it for the first time, I think it was about a month ago, and she racked up something like 70 odd hours in 1 week because it was that addictive.
God, it's insane. I mean, my first go with the franchise was the Xbox 360 version, which I thought was fantastic for a console strategy game like that. And then I moved on to Civ 4 for the PC, and it's literally one more turn, one more turn, one more turn, one more turn. I love those games. I really do. So yeah, I definitely, and my Mac's about ready for a refresh. So next time maybe I'll go for a little bit more power. But I'm not dual booting, damn it. not dual booting.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to get you to start sending out some emails to some of these graphics card companies because my card's getting old. No, I can't play games.
Hey, all we can do is ask. So without keeping our listeners waiting.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead. Let's go around the table. If you got anything to plug, go ahead and let her rip there, Benson's.
You can follow me at Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at 10Bensons. And I don't have a Facebook anymore because I've purged that shit from my life. So the only place you can really get hold of me is on the Twitters.
Oh man, so we're not going to see little kids flicking people off anymore?
I love that.
That was your avatar.
That's Emily's. She had a baddie on her finger. She's showing me the cut she had. And yeah,
of course, sure. She was like, fuck off.
I'll change my Twitter profile pic to that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything for you, Anne? Anything you want to share?
You can follow me at Febzilla on Twitter if you want to see any more of my lovely screenshots from PS4 share. And one game that I didn't get to talk about that I wanted to, that I'll plug really quick, is if you have a PS4 or if you play on PC, definitely pick up Transistor. It is such a gorgeous game. It's got an awesome soundtrack. It's a sci-fi, futuristic.
Oh, it's by the guy that made Braid, isn't it?
Bastion.
That's the one, Bastion.
Yeah, and it's a really cool story, too. It's just visually one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. And
yeah, it looked pretty rad.
Ever played. And the story is really cool. It's just got this noir feel to it, but there's an RPG element to it.
She's got a bitchin' sword too. Doesn't she?
Yeah. Well, the premise of the game is she's a singer. Her voice gets taken from her, and her sword talks to her and tells her where to go. But the really cool feature of the game is if you actually switch the speaker on in your settings, when the sword talks to you, you'll listen to it through the speaker on the PS4 controller, and it's such a personal feeling when you're playing, as you have the sword. The sword is what's guiding you and it's what's helping you because you don't have a voice. So it's just really cool. I'm in love with this game. I really am.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we're supposed to be getting a review from one of our noobs. He's actually another UK gentleman, Owen. So hopefully he can get that out next week because I like you. From what I saw, it looked pretty special.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's just an awesome game. So pick it up if you can. Just do yourself a favor and get the soundtrack too. It's so good.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, I just, you can follow me at Matt Haywood. That's MATTH3YWOOD, because Benson's likes when I use threes for E's.
I certainly do. And I love the fact that you have to, your Twitter handle is so bad that you have to spell it out.
I feel that the next time you spell it, you should use Method Man as a reference.
Okay.
And spell it out as he spells his name. So.
Got it. I've also been thinking about maybe just changing it to, the real Matt Haywood or just asshole. We'll figure that out. So that's mine. Definitely follow it because, like I said, I'll be on the E3 show floor. Well, not on Monday, but I'll be at the Microsoft presser and the Sony presser, live tweeting what I can, and I'll be tweeting and taking hopefully behind the scenes pics of some action from the E3 show floor and tweeting that out, sharing on my Instagram. Also follow at @EntBuddha, which is the site Twitter. We're on Facebook. Check that out. Just go to the website, go down on the right sidebar, look at the social links, follow us there. I promise you will not be disappointed by our coverage. Yes, we talk about some stuff that the big boys do, but we do it because we love it. We aren't getting paid for it. We do it just for the love of being a geek, gaming, going to movies, comic books, geek art, web gems, you name it. We get some stuff out before the big ones because I am the motherfucking entertainment Buddha and I just know what people like to see. So that's it for episode 6, geeks. We will reconvene after E3. Cheers. Have a great weekend.
Peace.
Bye.